Hallo und herzlich willkommen zurück zu Lamplight City. Wir sind immer noch in der Jagdhütte.
Seems Mr. Dupre is a Bollingworth man. Maybe he's not so bad after all. You really have to wonder about someone who chooses to surround themselves with dead things.
Ja, komm, fragen wir ihn trotzdem mal über den Brief.
Yes.
Do you know anything about Madame Dupre trying to get Juliet taken out of her classes at the university?
Ah, yes. Laura didn't approve of her daughter's desire to further her education. So, she sent a letter to the university requesting Juliet's withdrawal. I didn't approve of her trying to meddle in Juliet's affairs. If she wants to study, she should be free to do so. I wrote them a letter myself, without Laura's knowledge, telling them to disregard the previous request for withdrawal.
That's very good of you.
Yes, well, I dislike seeing people being told what they can and can't do by others.
Yet, he seems perfectly willing to employ servants at his home. Well, I suppose we're all hypocrites in one way or another.
I'll be going now.
Au revoir, Mr. Fordham.
Das hat jetzt nicht so viel uns weitergeholfen.
Sean probably wouldn't appreciate you snooping through his things while he's watching.
Wir
We
kriegen
haven't got
aber
anything
nicht mit, ne? Nein, okay. Gut, mehr haben wir hier glaube ich nicht. Wir haben den Brief gefunden. Wir können sie mal darüber ausquetschen, gegebenenfalls.
Hello again, Miss Montgomery. Mind answering a few more questions?
Hello, Mr. Fordham. Not at all.
Did your mother try to get you withdrawn from the university?
As a matter of fact, she did. Just another one of the many ways she tried interfering with my life.
What happened, exactly?
Mother wrote the university requesting that I be withdrawn. I found out about it when the enrollment office contacted me. I couldn't believe it at first. I thought it was some sort of mistake, but then they showed me the letter.
I take it you were upset.
More than upset, Mr. Fordham. I was furious. I was trying to make a real life for myself. One that wasn't about dresses or debutante balls or fending off suitors. I'd been given the chance to make something of myself, and Mother was ready to bring it all crashing down, just because she didn't agree with it.
But in the end, you're still here.
Yes, Jean stepped in and fixed everything. He didn't have to do it, but it was very good of him. I'm afraid that was the beginning of the end of my relationship with Mother. We never really managed to fix things after that.
No more questions for now.
Then if you don't mind, I have work to do.
Fordham, are you thinking what I'm thinking? Wait, what am I saying? Of course you are. Madame Dupre has been interfering with Juliet's studies and disapproved of her relationship with Martin, hence they're falling out. Plus, the information in Juliet's notes about ethericity, putting animals into a death-like trance, seems awfully suspicious. It's enough to establish both means and motive. That's plenty to consider her a suspect.
Okay, wir haben jetzt also einen Verdächtigen. Aber wir könnten jetzt zu Upton gehen und vielleicht Montgomery als den machen. Aber wir haben noch Jean Dupré sprechen. Ja, auch irgendwie. Haben wir doch getan.
This just goes to show you can't take it with you, so you might as well spend it all on a giant tomb.
Und wir sollen die Gruft untersuchen, was wir ja eigentlich schon auch getan haben. Und die Leute im Haus befragen, was wir auch getan haben. Also irgendwas... Muss ja noch... Ich habe doch alle hier durchgelesen.
John Patrick Chester, Desmond Chester, Jane Scott Chester, William Arthur, Celine, 1823 to 1844. Taken too soon. Rest ye with the angels. Dale Chester, Sarah Chesterton, Douglas Chesterton.
This must be...
I don't...
What?
No.
Dann die
I
drei
have to
Dinger.
admit.
Wir haben es immer noch, dass wir es untersuchen sollen. Allerdings kann ich nicht sehen, was ich genau untersuchen sollte.
That nest is full...
Perhaps...
Always a... Nothing else?
Mit ihm können wir nicht weiter drüber reden.
Oh, Mr. Fordham, you're back.
We haven't got anything.
Hier können wir auch nicht weiter reden. Gehen wir mal nach Hause. Sie ist gar nicht da. Stimmt, sie hat auch gesagt, sie hat was zu tun. Im Defekt.
Yes, your soporific is still in there. Stop being so paranoid. It's admirable just how organized Adelaide... Don't worry, Miles. I don't watch when you and Adelaide...
It would be.
I thought...
Okay. Ich weiß ja nicht, aber irgendwie kann ich mir nicht vorstellen, dass
It's
es
quack.
Außerdem reden immer alle von einem Gärtner, der noch irgendwo da ist,
As amusing as it...
den ich auch nirgendwo
Do
irgendwo
you
mal
suppose that's
gesehen
for the
habe.
bird? Or perhaps so the Dupre family members can get a good look at themselves on the way out of the house.
Amelie?
Yes? What is it? We mustn't be seen talking.
Anything you can tell me about John?
I hardly ever see him. Only at dinner. He's scared of Madam, and so he finds any reason to get out of the house and stay away as long as he can.
Scared of her?
Oh, it's true. You should see him when they're in private. Like a shamed puppy that dirtied the carpet.
Interesting.
Do you have any idea why Jean is so afraid of Madame Dupre?
If he's seen the same things we have, then yes.
What kind of things?
No, I spoke out of turn. Forget I said anything.
Amelie, listen to me. A potentially innocent man's life is on the line. If I don't find out who attacked Madame Dupre, he's as good as dead. So if there are any facts or details you know that I don't, you need to tell me.
I can't.
You can. I'm not with the police. If Madame Dupre did something wrong, I'm not going to look the other way. Trust me, I'm on your side.
Madam beats the servants. I think she even does it for fun. I hear the screams sometimes. I don't know how anyone else in the family doesn't. Maybe they do and just ignore it. I don't know. But if Mr. Dupre knows what she do, it explains why he's so scared of her.
Did Madame Dupre ever abuse you?
No, I was lucky, but some of the others weren't.
Like who? I need details, Amelie.
The old gardener, Guy Dumas, and one of the maids, Celine. I saw Madame going after them the most. Don't know what they did to deserve it, but I would see her walk by in a rage, whip in one hand and a book in the other.
A book? What book?
Oh, I don't know. I can't read, so I don't know what it said on the cover. But it's the same color as the stew spice I always use. Don't know what she used it for, but she always had it with her, just before a beating.
Maybe she'd recite them some of her terrible poetry. I'm sure that was torture enough.
Okay, das bringt uns ein bisschen weiter.
Tell me more about Guy and Celine.
They were deeply in love with each other. I used to hear them talk about how they wanted to run away together.
What happened to them?
I don't know. One day they were here, and then one day they weren't.
Do you think Madame Dupre may have done something to them?
I couldn't say for sure, but I wouldn't be surprised if she had. Please, let's not talk about this anymore.
Thank you, Amelie. I appreciate your time.
You're welcome. Now please, let me get back to work.
Okay, das war schon nicht schlecht. Selbes Gewürz wie das, was sie immer für den Eintopf holen. Also sie hat mir auch nicht die Farbe erzählt, ne? Hier, Hinweise. Okay, wir haben Amelies Aussage. Und wir haben mehr über Guy und Celine rausfinden. Das kriegen wir hin.
I have some questions for you.
All right.
Did you know Guy Dumas?
The old gardener? Sure, I knew him. We didn't talk very much. He was just a servant after all, but he seemed like a nice man. He stopped coming around about 2 months ago. Too bad, really. He did a good job of keeping the gardens looking nice. The new one is alright, but he just doesn't have that special touch Guy did.
Were you familiar with a servant named Celine?
Yes, I believe she was one of the maids. I didn't talk to her very much. Oh, she quit not so long ago. At least I assume she did. I haven't seen her in about 3 months.
Thanks for your time.
My pleasure.
Okay. Dann gucken wir uns nochmal die Bücher an. Was hier? Ne, falscher Raum, ne?
Well, this should be the book Amelie mentioned. Well, what have we here?
A whip, and it has dried blood on it. How ghastly.
This house is just full of secrets, isn't it?
Okay, wir haben eine Peitsche gefunden. Damit hatte ich jetzt nicht gerechnet, ehrlich gesagt.
A much younger Madame Dupre.
Nur noch ein anderes
There are
Buch
way more
ziehen?
important things to concern ourselves with now than... That's an old uniform. From the turn of... This must... Oh, dear...
Okay, also, wir haben eine verschmierte Peitsche.
As amusing as it is...
Wahrscheinlich nicht, ne?
Amelie?
Doch,
Yes?
kann auch mal mit dir reden.
What is it? We mustn't be seen talking.
I found this upstairs in Madame Dupre's bedroom. Do you recognize it?
Oh, please take that away, Mr. Fordham. Why would you show it to me?
I'm sorry, I didn't think it would upset you.
Miles. Maybe someday you'll learn how to read basic human emotions.
Thank you, Amelie. I appreciate your time.
You're welcome. Now, please, let me get back to work.
This quack...
Okay, mit ihm können wir nicht. Dann reden wir noch mal erstmal mit der Tochter.
Hello again, Miss Montgomery. Mind answering a few more questions?
Hello, Mr. Fordham.
Do you know Guy Dumas?
Yes, he was one of our servants. He used to enjoy reading my books, as well as Andrew's.
When did you see him last?
Just last week, he came by to see me and asked to borrow some books.
Do you know where I might be able to find him?
Not really. I get the impression that he moves around frequently. But I can tell him you're looking for him next time I see him, if you like.
Please do. Although hopefully I'll be able to find him before then. Were you friends with Celine, the maid?
Yes, I was quite fond of Celine. She was so sweet and interesting to talk to. One day, she just left the house with no explanation. Mother said it was because she had found work elsewhere. I was terribly saddened. I wish I'd had the chance to say goodbye to her, at least. What's your interest in her?
Oh, I was just curious, that's all. No more questions.
Then if you don't...
Okay. Und dann können wir noch mit ihr reden.
Oh, Mr. Fordham, you're back.
Ja, ja, ich weiß alles über dich.
Can we talk,
Ja,
Mr.
so ein bisschen.
Dupre?
I suppose so. Yes.
Tell me what you know about Guy Dumas and Celine.
I'm sure I have no idea what you're talking about.
They were former servants of yours. Do you not remember them?
Oh, I remember them. I just have nothing to say about them.
I've met some bad liars in my day, but this guy really takes the cake. We'll get him, somehow.
Do you fear your wife, Mr. Dupre?
Do I... what?
The question's quite simple. Are you afraid of Madame Dupre?
Why on the earth would you think that?
I'd be afraid of someone who kept a bloody whip in my bedroom. Care to explain that?
You don't know her like I do. No one does. Well, no one aside from the servants, I suppose. She's cruel, Mr. Fordham. Crueler than anyone or anything I've ever seen.
Tell me more about Madame Dupre's cruelty.
She treats the servants like animals, Mr. Fordham. She would say the most vile, awful things to them. Things I would expect to hear on the Gascon docks, not from the lips of a grande dame. And the beatings. Oh, God. The screams I would hear from somewhere in the house. I never dared find out where.
Nobody else ever heard the screaming?
No. She was cunning. She would do it when no one else was around. Once she knew I had heard, she threatened me. Told me she would...
Yes?
She threatened to expose my secret, Mr. Fordham.
And what secret is that?
Our marriage is one of convenience. It's all for show. Laura has herself a well-to-do husband, and I am a normal man in the eyes of society.
I see. I suppose that would explain a few things.
Well, now, how was that not obvious to you? The soporific is really having a bad effect on you.
Don't worry, Mr. Dupre. Your secret's safe with me.
Thank you, Mr. Fordham.
Okay, neuer Hinweis.
Tell me what you know about Guy Dumas and Celine.
Celine had an accident.
What kind of accident?
Laura thought Celine had been stealing her silverware. She got a bit carried away with a beating and...
Dupre killed Celine?
Yes, she did. In order to keep it quiet, she had Celine placed in our family tomb.
I see. What about Guy?
I don't know. I never saw him again after that.
Well, this case has certainly taken a turn for the sinister.
I'll be going now.
Au revoir, Mr. Fordham.
Ja, tendenziell bin ich ja darauf, diesen Guide zu finden. Das wäre ziemlich nützlich. Ich bedanke mich aber erstmal fürs Zusehen und wir sehen uns beim nächsten Mal. Ciao, ciao!